the system will certainly be crashing.
You know,
that is my take.
In this whole
we
talk,
need to think.
The new president you have raised quite a number of issues, and I think you're also on the same page with the majority of Nigerians. You also talk about the security agencies, that the members should also be carefully scrutinized and screened. One of the things that it would seem we've been leaving out here is also the DSS. In all of this, does it worry you that the DSS may have people who also spill out information to the general public before they carry out any of their activity or actions? A case in point is what happened in Port Harcourt. Definitely the information must have moved out to the government of Rivers State that they were coming to that particular house that saw so many other people come to the place. So if the DSS is still what they should be, and we're getting to see that, shouldn't they also be purging themselves of those they think shouldn't be there in the first place?
That is where I started my discussion. I said that the security agencies, the DSS, the EFCC, for instance, this issue of the judges, there are people that have first point jurisdiction or first point brief. That is the EFCC and the ICPC. Is there no confidence on the EFCC and the ICPC to take up these jobs? And when we have this information leaking, who is responsible? So first point, like I said, is for the security agencies, the EFCC, the ICPC, the DSS, the police to purge themselves at the leadership level, at the followership level, at the operation level. Purge themselves of these things. Because if somebody had leaked the information, it means the person will also get some rewards for it. How much do they have? How many buildings? How many properties? We can find these things out. You know, in Abuja today, many properties are littered. Some of them belong to the security agencies. In Lagos, the same thing. And you see people who have not worked, who were not businessmen, who were, even if they were contractors, which were they contractors to the government, and you see them having 20, 30, 40 buildings, civil servants. These buildings are either in minors' name. What are we talking about? So the purge should start with the security agencies, because these are the first step to the justice system. Without purging them, there is nothing the judiciary can do. Even if you have an angel as a judge, he cannot convict somebody who has not been properly investigated or somebody whose product of investigation has been compromised. We need to start from there first.
Well, a very interesting perspective you have here. But one more thing before you go. How do we then ensure, because Nigerians go through this on a regular basis with security agencies. Well, yesterday, we also found out that, we were told on the program that the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, they received petitions against even security agencies. And then that is with relation to how they carry out their functions. Now, that shows that there's a lot of problem in society. About those security agencies and people trusting the system, how do we even approach that part? If yes, we focus on the judiciary now, what about those agencies? Because can the police go ahead and investigate the DSS or the AFCC, who takes the ultimate, and even if you get to the court, how long will it take us to get conviction or judgment in those cases? So the entire system needs a major adjustment. Is that too big a thing to do, and how do we approach that?
Yes, I think in the first place, we are lucky to have a vice president who is a lawyer, and who many lawyers believe that he is not into, or he was not into, some of this cut and joint business in the legal profession. I would think that the president, who is very busy, would assign to him, give him executive powers in terms of dealing with corruption. And if he is given those executive powers in terms of dealing with corruption and in terms of dealing with security agencies, who are going to do the prosecution? Because If, for instance, you say the vice president who is tested, take charge of this, and the vice president now looks at the security agencies, looks at the training, the manner of their training, tries to think of how can you purge them, and reports on daily basis or on weekly basis to the president the things he's doing. I think it may be a good, because I will tell you this, even if you have angels as judges, angels who are brilliant and who understand the law, I can tell you that most of these arrests, most of the charges will fail, because they can only try these matters not as stated in the newspapers, but according to the law. And according to the law is that you are presumed innocent. And look, you're not supposed to make out your own case. The security agency or the prosecutor is supposed to bring out cases that can convict you. And if there are issues of doubt, it is resolved against you who is the accused. It is not for you to defend yourself, really. It is for you to keep quiet and wait for them to prove the case. And when they don't have it and they bring issues, take for instance, in the judiciary where you say you got money, you collected money, 10 million, 50 million, let's assume that you got the money from them. You have to also go further to prove how did you get the money, from who? Where did you get it from? So all these issues are things you need to prove to say there is corruption.
Okay.
That is the law anywhere in the world. In America, in the United Kingdom,
could you give me
inherited this
let me
system.
get your final comments on this. I'm making a short one because we need to wrap up. Do you think that this current fight against corruption will outlive this administration?
My view is that it will outlive the administration in the sense that we would want the next administration to continue. That is, assuming the administration stays for 8 years, for instance. Other administrations should continue. We cannot complete it today because most people that are in the ESCO, in the executive, they are also, or they are said to be corrupt too.
Okay.
And what they have, their properties, what they have also attests to such. So it will still have to, and I think we may get to a stage where as many people as are seen to be corrupt, as many that are seen to be part of corruption issues, as many as we can see today that their properties or the things they have do not support what they were doing before they enter government, are flushed out of.
Thank you very much indeed. Chukwuma Ezeala is a legal practitioner. We'll be back in a moment. Join us again.